was a wintry, billowy day here in mid-February in the heart of Canada. So I decided that today was the day to buy more box dye and to buy a puppy. Oh my God, look. But seriously though, I bought a puppy this week. His name is Ninja and he is my teacup chihuahua with blue eyes. My brain is literally flooding with puppy dopamine right now. Like, I'm dead. I've died. It's over. Call an ambulance. If you love him, leave it in the comments section because I can include him in more of my videos. But this video is obviously not sponsored by my puppy breeder, although I wish it was so that I could have more money to buy more puppies and more box dye. So back to our regularly scheduled content. In this previous video, I tried Clairol Color Gloss Up on my brown highlighted hair in warm caramel brown, and I was seriously impressed with it. Like, seriously impressed. I loved how my hair turned out after using that at-home glossing box dye. And that sparked a thought in my nerdy hairdresser brain, and that thought was, if I can get my highlighted brown hair to look really rich, conditioned, have no damage, and have a really beautiful tone from home, is it possible for blondes to do the same? The number one complaint that I hear from blondes is that their hair gets brassy in between salon visits. Now, why? Why is it that it gets brassy? If you know the why, then you can figure out how to control that. So listen up. If your hair is not naturally blonde, the only way to get it blonde is to lighten it with bleach. So in Hairland, we call it lightener. It sounds less scary, but what it is, it's bleach, and it's etching that color pigment out of the hair to create a lighter tone in the hair. Now, hair falls in a range of colors. We have color level 1 and color level 10. Color level 1 is the blackest black, so the darkest hair that you can have. Color level 10 is the lightest light, so the lightest blonde that you can get. Say you take a level 6 and you bring it up to a level 9 with bleach. You etch away the color in that hair strand. You are left with something called the underlying pigment. The underlying pigment ranges from red in the lower levels to orange, to yellow, and then to pale yellow. So if you take black hair and you lift it to a medium brown, when you take those foils out, you're gonna notice that there's a lot of red underneath. If you take brown hair and you lift it to a dark blonde, when you take out those foils, you're gonna notice that it's really orangey. If you do the same up to a level 9, you're gonna notice that it's yellow. And then all the way up to a level 10, if it's possible to get it that light, you're gonna notice that it's a pale yellow. Now, what stylists do in the salon is we have to control the underlying pigment. And we control the underlying pigment by using toners. Almost every blonde that I have done over the last 5 years wants to be cooled down. They want the yellow tones in their hair muted. So how do we do that? We do that by using the opposite color on the color wheel. So if you lift up to an orange level, which is like a dark blonde level, we have to use a toner that has blue in it because orange and blue are opposite on the color wheel. If you lift up to a yellow, we have to use purple because purple and yellow are opposite on the color wheel. It's gonna mute it out and it's gonna make it look ashy or like whiter and brighter. That is why we have purple shampoo. That's why purple shampoo exists. I did a whole video on purple shampoo and you can really see the before and after very clearly before using purple shampoo, after using purple shampoo. If you're interested in this topic, I will leave a link to that video in the comment section below and in the description box. But here's the issue, okay? So you go to the salon, your hairstylist puts your foils in, they lift your hair up with lightener, they take out the foils, they see the underlying pigment at the sink, they wash your hair, they formulate the toner, you leave with perfect hair, but then 4 weeks later, you're like, man, my hair is brassy again. Why is that? Well, that's because toner is a semi-permanent color. Toner is essentially a hair gloss. So it stays on the cuticle layer or the outermost layer of the hair. It works really great for offsetting unwanted pigments, but it doesn't last forever. It's not a permanent hair color. I mean, even permanent hair color fades, but a toner, because it's semi-permanent, really does wash away fairly quickly. And then you are left with that underlying pigment underneath, and it may be a tone that is unfavorable or a tone that you do not want. What if there was a way to control brassiness in blonde hair in between salon visits? I just found out a way for you to do that. The color that I'm choosing to try today is L'Oreal Le Color Gloss, and I chose the color Cool Blonde. So here is our beautiful girl. As you can see in this clip, Leah needs to get her hair done because it has been a long time and her toner has washed out, exposing that underlying pigment in the hair, which in Leah's case is like a level 9 yellow. I didn't do Leah's color, so I can't take credit for her beautiful blend. It was done by my friend Tammy, who is at Glossed Hair Artistry. Check her out on Instagram because she's really talented. Obviously, the yellow undertones here are not Tammy's fault. It's just the underlying pigment, as we talked about, being exposed from lightening hair. I started by shampooing the hair very well and towel drying. I did not apply conditioner because that will seal the cuticle too much and I won't get as impactful of a result. In the last video that I posted about a box gloss, I had a few comments mentioning that hair color should be done on dry hair. They've never seen hair color done on wet hair. I understand that concern, but a gloss or a toner is different. So if you are doing a permanent hair color, you absolutely want to do it on dry hair. A glossing system or a toning system, something that's going to offset those underlying pigments, is actually done on damp hair. You don't want the hair soaked, but you want the hair washed well so it's clean, and you want it to be damp. This box does not come with a bowl, a brush, or with gloves. That is something that I really didn't like about the Clairol gloss as well, and I can say the same for the L'Oreal Color Gloss. They say in the instructions here to actually apply this in the shower like you would almost like a conditioner. I personally think you need more control than that. As a stylist, I'm a bit of a control freak. I get that. I mean, a lot of people wouldn't be as nitpicky as me, but if you really want the blonde to have even saturation and to be completely toned in an even and perfect in a professional way, then I definitely suggest washing your hair, section it out, get a bowl and a brush and gloves so you don't stain your hands, like destroy your manicure, and then apply it from roots to ends. That is definitely going to be the way that you're going to get the best results. Now, this might freak you out a little bit because it is a very intense purple. I was even for a minute, a little bit freaked out. And I also think that Leah was a little bit freaked out for a minute, but this is normal. Every toner that we use to offset yellow is purple. This one's a very vibrant purple, but that does not mean that your hair is going to turn purple. Now, what's gonna happen here is that any of the tones in her hair that are not either a yellow or a pale yellow are going to stay the same. It's not going to touch that. Purple is not going to touch a brown, a medium brown, anything like that. It's only going to touch the yellow and the pale yellow. And what's gonna happen to that tone, yellow and pale yellow, is that it's going to become neutralized and it's going to look brighter, ashier, it's gonna look whiter. So what the box says is that on bleached or highlighted hair, you wanna leave it on for 5 to 10 minutes, or on naturally blonde hair, you wanna leave it on for 15 minutes. I do not suggest putting this on your hair, walking away, and coming back in an hour and rinsing it. I also do not even suggest putting it on your natural blonde hair, walking away even for 15 minutes and then rinsing it. What can happen sometimes if you leave a toner like this on for too long, depending on the porosity of your hair. So if your hair is damaged or more porous, this is more likely to happen. What can end up happening is your hair sometimes will be too white or too gray, like a tone that's way too ashy, and then you'll be unhappy with it. Sometimes as well, it can kind of pick up that lilac hue. It's not gonna go like bright Barney purple, but you may end up with a very light shade of like lilac. I don't know about this in particular. I never overtoned with this, but overtoning with the other toners in the salon, that can happen. So I always suggest staying near a mirror and checking your hair every minute to 3 minutes. I got a question about how to do this in my last video, so I'm gonna show you guys really clearly how I do this. You wanna take your hands and you wanna spread the color away from the hair and look at the tone of the blonde. As you can see here, the color has been on for a little bit over 5 minutes, probably 7-ish minutes, and the blonde has gone from yellow to a gray tone. Do you see that gray tone right over here? When I feel like all of the yellow is gone in the hair, I rinse it out, I condition, and then I dry it. I gave Leah a haircut now because she really needed one, and honestly, what is good about having a hairdresser friend if she can't hook you up with a haircut? This is what her hair looks like after drying in natural daylight. and this is what it looks like in the studio light with a ring light. I also added a bit of waves so that you can see how the dimensions look when there is texture in the hair. If you guys want to learn more about box dye, you want me to do more tutorials here on YouTube, give me a thumbs up on this video. It really helps me grow. If you don't like these types of videos, then give me a thumbs down. Either way, it's really nice for me to know what you guys are enjoying and what you guys aren't enjoying. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.